Hey everyone, and welcome to the $1 million portfolio journey. Is Thursday, the 29th of August, 2025. It's around 4:40 here in London, and I'm gonna do my investment for the day. So basically, what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be providing you with a portfolio update. I've done a rotation today. I haven't invested further money into my portfolio. So what I've done is I've rotated some money, and I'll show you exactly where I've rotated into. And also I'm going to have a look at how the companies are doing, how Tesla's doing, how Nvidia is doing, and how MicroStrategy is doing. And then I'm just going to discuss what my plans are going forward. So let's get into it. So let's have a look at how the portfolio doing. So the general investment account is just under 49k. So yesterday it was above about 50, it was 51k or above, as I remember. So it's fluctuating quite a bit. Stocks and shares ISA is just over 30k, and my self-invested personal pension is just over 51k. So things have dipped a little bit, so that's fine. It just gives me an opportunity to buy more shares at a lower price. So that's the portfolio update. Let's have a look at how the companies are doing today. So I'm curious how Tesla's doing today. So let's look at the 1 day movement. So it's down about 2.17%. So I sold one share in Tesla from my GIA account, and my intention is to move it to my ISA account. So I'll explain why I'm doing that later. So before we do that, let's have a look at how Tesla is doing. So today is trading around 342 exactly. It's down around 2%. So I think the markets are down today, and it's dragging Tesla down with the market. So last 3 months down around 1%. Last year up around 66%, maximum up around 100%. But again, if you look at the chart here, the maximum it's been, it's gone to is about 488, nearly 500, and we're at 341. So I think this is still a very good price to buy Tesla at. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So that's Tesla. Let's have a look at MicroStrategy now. So MicroStrategy trading at 341.90. 1 day movement is it's basically flat, so it hasn't moved at all. Last 3 months down about 7% maximum. Last 5 years up around 2,266%. But as you can see, at its peak, when the net asset value was very, very high, it was trading around 480 or something, like Tesla. So maybe the net asset value for MicroStrategy will not go above 2.5, but obviously Bitcoin will steadily rise over the future, and Strategy is a Bitcoin treasury company. They hold the Bitcoin. They have something tangible that they're holding onto. So if the price of Bitcoin goes down, Strategy will obviously go down. But then you have to remember that it will be a great buying opportunity. So I'll probably buy more of Strategy. So this is a very, very long-term strategy. My price target for 2030 for Strategy is around 2,800. My price target for Tesla is around 3,000. So again, 10x from here. So every pound that I put in will turn hopefully into 10 pounds. So that's Strategy. Let's have a look at Nvidia, which reported yesterday. So I believe they beat their earnings, but it wasn't a very spectacular beating. So we're all used to Nvidia like really beating their estimates. Like if they're supposed to be earning a certain amount, they have to beat it by 20-30% for it to show a spectacular movement. This time it just met or exceeded it a little bit, which is why it's flat. Today it's down around 1.38, but again near all-time highs at 179.09. So that's the portfolio. So today what I've done, I'm just going to show you. So I sold one Tesla share today. So I'm just going to show you the activity. So I sold one share today at 256.69, and basically there was a £1 FX fee for this. So basically what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take that money and then I'm gonna buy one share of Tesla in my stocks and shares ISA. So the reason I'm doing that, it's very important to me, is I want to move the money from my general investment account into my stocks and shares ISA account and my self-invested personal pension account. So the reason for this is, suppose my general investment account over 5 years goes up to around £480,000. If I leave it as it is and it 10x's, I'm gonna have to pay capital gains tax on that. But if I can strategically move that from my general investment account into my stocks and shares ISA account, I won't be liable for any capital gains tax. So it's going to take me time to do this. So my intention is to try and move it bit by bit into my stocks and shares ISA account, my partner, my wife's stocks and shares ISA account, my children's stocks and shares ISA account. So my plan is to do that, move into my SIP, my family's SIP as well. So basically I want to hold as least money as possible in my general investment account, so I'm not subjected to capital gains tax, because taxation is a very, very big part of my strategy. If you think about it, I always keep on talking about this. We're always working against inflation. We're working against a taxation to build wealth. So we have to take advantage of all the tax efficient products that are available out there, and two of my favorite products are the stocks and shares ISA and the self-invested personal pension. So with the stocks and shares ISA, you get a £20,000 allowance every year, so you can invest that amount and any gains that you make will be free of capital gains tax. With a self-invested personal pension, it's not as generous as the stocks and shares ISA. You do get tax relief at source at 20%, but when you do sell your asset at the future, when you retire, then you will be subjected to income tax. But what I plan to do is take a small amount every year so I don't reach that threshold, and if I need more money, then I will dip into my stocks and shares ISA to make it up. So that's the plan at the moment. So I want to make it as tax efficient as possible. I think, I live in London, I make money and I have to pay a lot in taxes. I have to pay a lot in living expenses. The inflation in London is out of control. The CPI is measured throughout the UK, but in London it's especially bad. I think it's about 15-20%, because when I look at my spending, I can see every year I'm spending 15 to 20% more, and my lifestyle isn't changing. Everything is still the same. I'm still doing the same things, and I'm seeing that my expenses have gone up every year about 15 to 20%. So in order to beat that rise in inflation and taxation, my minimum expectation for my investment is to make it grow, compound it annually at least 30%. And the reason for that, the reason why I want to do that, is I want to beat inflation, I want to beat taxation, but then I want my money to grow ahead of inflation and taxation, so I have more wealth in the future. So that's the plan, that's what I'm trying to do. So let's see if it works. So okay, so I'm gonna go into my ISA account now. I'm gonna top up my ISA with £262. Okay, so these transfers are instant, so hopefully this should work. So let me just try that again. Sometimes it's a little bit glitchy, but hopefully it's gonna work quickly today. Yep, so that's done. just still waiting for the money to go through. So the top up has happened. So I have 262.75 in my ISA account. And now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be buying one share of Tesla. So let's see how much that's one share. So it's just over one share. So selling in pre-market was quite it was the right thing to do at the for this time. Sometimes you'll buy more, sometimes you'll buy less, but I'm gonna try and whenever I sell one, I'm gonna try and buy one. So let me review the order, put the order through. Okay, so let's have a look at the Tesla buy order now. So the order status is complete. Total cost £262 and 37 pence. Number of shares 1.035. Price per share FX is $341.15. FX rate 1.3457. The FX fee is £1 and the commission is 0. So I am going to be losing out on FX fee. However, the amount of money that I'm going to be saving in taxation when Tesla does 10x and I do realize the benefits is going to be quite a large amount. So moving one share from my GIA account to my ISA account costs me £2, which is quite a lot, to be honest with you. But that £250 in 2030 will hopefully turn into £2,500. And if it was in my GIA account, I'd be subjected to capital gains tax, which is, around 40% of the gain. But by putting it in my ISA account, I won't have to pay that capital gains tax. So it actually makes sense to do this as often as possible to try and save taxation costs in the future. So I want to avoid that capital gains tax like the plague. So that's done. So I've put in another, I've rotated. So what I've done is I've rotated one share of Tesla from my general investment account into my stocks and shares ISA account. I haven't invested further money into my account because I'm working on another project now which will hopefully increase my income, because remember, my target for this portfolio, for our family portfolios, is to get to $1 million as soon as possible. So I'm rotating, I'm investing, I'm rotating between companies, I'm rotating between accounts, trying to make it as tax efficient as possible, and I'm adding as much money as I can, and I'm trying to increase my income so I can invest at least £250 or more. My aspiration is to invest at least £1,000 a day into the stock market. So hopefully that's gonna happen. So for anyone who's new to my YouTube account, this account is all about getting to that 1 million mark as soon as possible. So as a family, in all our brokerage accounts, we have around £200,000 and we are 5x away from 1 million. So I'm gonna add more money into the account. I'm gonna be rotating, I'm gonna be rotating between stocks, rotating between accounts to try and get more shares for my money. But my ultimate goal, my first goal, is to take it to £1 million, and then once I reach 1 million, I want to take it to 10 million and then 100 million. So my target to take it to 1 million is 2027 to 28. So that's when I want to hit 1 million, and then 5 years later I want to hit 10 million, and then 5 years later I want to hit 100 million. So again, it's a long time, it's a lofty aspirational goal, but I think it can be done. It's just a matter of knowing what the future holds. So I know that the future, there's a high probability that the future will be dominated by AI and Bitcoin. So that's where I'm positioning myself, and Tesla and Strategy as well as Nvidia are the most exposed to AI and Bitcoin, which is why I am holding these companies. So that's that. So that's the goal of the portfolio. I have four very simple rules I'm going to go through quickly for all my new viewers. So I'm a very long-term investor. So even though I want to hit my 1 million by 2027, 2028, anything that I buy now, I'm going to hold for at least 5 years, or I'm going to be rotating it between accounts and between stocks. So I'm not going to be taking it out of the portfolio, because remember, I want that 30% compound annual growth rate. So that's rule number one, long-term investing. Rule number two is trying to invest every day or rotate every day. So basically, I want to be doing something that will take me to my million as soon as possible. So I'd love to invest and rotate every day £250. That's my minimum target, but my aspiration is to like invest aggressively, try and get to that £1,000 mark every day as soon as possible. I want to be also, so that's rule number two. Rule number three is I'm a very volatile investor, so I invest in companies which are very volatile, have a very impressive growth prospect, have the potential to 10x in 5 years, have a compound annual growth rate of at least 30%, so I can beat inflation and taxation. So that's rule number three. And rule number four, which is very important, is to be a very tax efficient investor. So I always top up my ISA, always top up my SIPs for myself and my family, make sure I'm taking full advantage of the tax efficient products that are available from the UK government. And I want to pay as little as possible in the future when it comes to taxation, capital gains tax, mainly inheritance tax, income tax. So I'm going to structure it in such a way where I'm minimizing my taxation as much as possible, because we pay enough taxation as it is. I'm a high rate taxpayer, so I pay a large amount of my money that I earn in taxation. So I want to be avoiding paying more in the future. So that's it for today. Hopefully you found this video useful, entertaining, and hopefully you found it inspiring. Go on your own journey, see how much you can invest every day. I started by investing £1 a day, and I've slowly taken it up, and now I've built a portfolio, a family portfolio in excess of £200,000, and we are aspiring to get to a million as soon as possible. So yeah, go on your own journey and leave a comment below to let me know how you're getting on. And what I will do tomorrow is I'll bring you another update of my portfolio, another rotation maybe, or an investment, and I'll bring you a full update tomorrow. So that's it for today. I will bring you that video tomorrow. Have a great